Hello, everyone, and welcome to the class. My name is Audrey, and today's reading article will be a little bit more advanced. However, if you are intermediate, feel welcome to join, and of course, we can help you out, help you to learn more vocab and to understand the article together. Okay, so it is a little bit more advanced than my usual articles. However, I still encourage you to join because you can learn a lot. Okay, and this topic is a bit of an interesting one. It is about a study done about halfway houses. Now, I put in the description the definition of a halfway house. A halfway house is that place where either prisoners go after prison or after they serve time in jail to kind of get rehabilitated into society, or it can also be a place for maybe drug addicts to go. It's in this transition, while they're in this transition, to help them re-enter society. Okay, so that's what a halfway house is, and a lot of times it's the next step after prison, but a new study suggests that maybe these halfway houses are not as effective as they should be. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this article done about a study, and you can see maybe guess what some of the reasons these houses or these halfway houses are not as effective as they should be are. And of course, throughout the article, we will be practicing our pronunciation, our reading, and our reading comprehension. Okay, so this is going to be a mix of reading and conversation. So be ready to talk, be ready to ask questions, and in just a moment we will begin. So everybody who is watching, again, this class is a little bit more advanced than normal, but I still invite anyone who is intermediate to advanced to join the class, okay? So in just a moment we will get started. As soon as you, the students, come and join the class, let me know if there is any trouble joining the class, as there might be some technical difficulties today. I hope not, but it is possible. I don't think my Verbling chat is working today, unfortunately, but hopefully you can all let me know if you're having any trouble with the class. Again, let me just say a little bit about Verbling Premium. Right now is our Verbling Premium period. So if you do have a premium account and you're able to make reservations, then this is the time that you can join the class, okay? And if you're interested in being able to make reservations, just click on Get Reservations at the top of your screen, and hopefully we can help you to get into class early. Okay, we have a student. Mustafa, how are you?
I am good, thanks, Audrey.
Great, nice to see you. I don't know what's happening. We only have one student.
Yeah, it's good for me.
Yes, it's good for you. You get a private lesson.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Yes, very good. So I'm not sure if they are having some problems. Have you been on Verbling today, Mustafa?
Yes, I have been too.
Okay.
There's no any problems.
Okay. So hopefully there's not, and maybe it's just some downtime. Okay, so Mustafa, welcome to the class. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, thanks.
Very good. And where are you from?
From Cairo, Egypt.
Okay, from Cairo. Well, we're going to go ahead and start with the article, and we'll see if some of your classmates join you. Otherwise, it's just me and you, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, very good. So have you heard a little bit about the topic?
Yes, I read it before I joined.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So you understand what is a halfway house, right?
Hmm.
Okay, very good.
Right.
So let me ask you a little bit. You said you're from Egypt, correct?
Right.
So are there halfway houses in Egypt? Is that a popular thing in Egypt?
Not popular.
Okay,
I don't hear about it here in Egypt. I don't
mhm.
know if is it exists or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here it's a popular thing. It's a next step after, for example, prison. You go
Mm,
from prison to a halfway house to transition into society. So
mm.
in Egypt, instead of the halfway house, maybe they just release prisoners to the streets. Is
Yes,
that what
right.
happened?
I think we have yes. I think we have a halfway house for drug addicts only. I think,
Mm-hmm.
but for prisoners, I didn't hear about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Very good. Interesting. And I don't expect you to be an expert on the prison system. So maybe you
Yeah,
just don't know.
yeah.
But that's okay. Okay, so we will go ahead and start with our article. Let me put it on the screen and of course I will give you a link. So just let me know if you have any trouble seeing it. Okay, can you see the link in the chat?
No.
The
Ah,
verb
yes, I
link
can see
chat?
it. Yes, I can see it now.
Okay, very good. So, as you can see, the title of this article is Pennsylvania Study Finds Halfway Houses Don't Reduce Recidivism. What is that word, recidivism? Have you seen it before?
No, I'm
Okay.
trying to translate it now.
Well, I'll explain it a little bit to you. So, recidivism is the return back to crime. So we hope
Um,
that when somebody is released from prison, they won't come back to prison, right?
mm,
So
I
recidivism
see.
is that return back to crime. And this Pennsylvania study, so it was done in the United States, in the state of Pennsylvania, it finds that these halfway houses do not reduce this return back to crime. So they don't help anything. Okay?
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, very good. So we understand what the study is about. If you would, go ahead and read the first paragraph.
Okay. The federal government and the states across the country have spent billions of dollars in recent years on sprawling, right?
Sprawling.
Privately run halfway houses, which are supposed to save money and rehabilitate inmates more effectively than prisons do.
Okay, very good. Just this word right here, rehabilitate.
Rehabilitate.
Rehabilitate. So what does it mean to rehabilitate?
Uh, rehabilitate.
Any idea?
Yes, reinstall or back to the normal state for
Right,
good. Mhm,
right. So if you're trying to rehabilitate prisoners, then it means to make them better.
mhm.
Okay, return them to a life without crime. Okay,
Right.
very good. So it
What do you mean of
says,
sprawling?
yeah, recent years on sprawling privately run. So sprawling just means in this case, they're everywhere. There's a lot of them.
Oh, okay.
So on sprawling privately run halfway houses, meaning that they are everywhere, all over the country.
Mhm.
Okay, so in this case, in this paragraph, we're just talking about the government spending all this money, billions of dollars, on many of these privately run halfway houses. and there's a question as to whether they really help the prisoners. Do they really rehabilitate the inmates or not? Okay?
Mhm.
Okay, we have a new student. How are you, Hassan? I think your microphone is muted. You might need to click on the red microphone button above the chat. Okay, there's a red icon. Looks like a microphone. You might need to click on it. Okay, so we'll come back to you. Hopefully we'll be able to hear you here in a moment. We can't hear you so far, but again, it's right above the chat box. There's a red microphone button, so try and find that, okay? Um, so we'll go to the next section.
Okay, but now a groundbreaking study by officials in Pennsylvania is casting serious doubt on the halfway house model, concluding that inmates who spend time in these facilities were more likely to return to crime than inmates who were released directly to the street. This is so weird.
Sorry?
This is so weird.
Oh, yes, yes. So you find it strange that
Yes.
this would be true.
Uh-huh.
Okay, very good. So were there any words in there, Mostafa, that you didn't understand?
Groundbreaking.
Okay, yes, groundbreaking. Groundbreaking means something revolutionary or new.
Mm.
So a groundbreaking study, something that's new or revolutionary.
Uh,
So like you said, you think that this is quite weird or quite strange that this would be true. So that's what they mean by a groundbreaking study. Okay, any other words that you didn't understand here?
no.
Okay, very good. So maybe we can have a little bit of a conversation about this. You said that it's strange. Tell me why you think so.
Because the halfway house should be rehabilitate the inmates uh, to start the new life and join the people or rejoin the people again. Uh, but according to this study, it is not.
Right, exactly. So the whole point of the halfway house is to rehabilitate the inmates. And this study is saying it actually makes them worse off if they go to a halfway house. So seems
But
very interesting.
they didn't mention the reason why,
Right,
or just
exactly.
statistics. It is just statistics, or
Yes, this is just saying that these are statistics. They're not talking about the reason. Right now, they're just saying that just looking at the numbers, this is what they found to be true.
Mhm.
Okay, so hopefully, if we can get to through the rest of the article, we can see what some of the reasons are. Okay, so go ahead and read the next one for us.
The findings started the administration of government from COVID, which responded last month by drastically overhauling state contacts with the campaign that ran the 38 private halfway houses in Pennsylvania. The system costs more than $110 million annually.
Okay, very good, very good. Let's look at this word right here. Drastically, drastically. Okay, I wanted to point out that word for pronunciation purposes. What are some vocab questions you have here?
Startled.
Yeah, this one in the first line, we have startled, startled.
Oh,
So
okay.
to startle is to maybe, I wouldn't say to scare, but to To surprise. To surprise.
Or excited
Okay.
by.
Not really excited, but just surprised. So the findings, it's referring to the findings of the study or the results of the study. So the
Mhm,
results of the study surprised this administration. Okay,
mhm,
so they weren't expecting these results
mhm.
because all these halfway houses cost more than $110 million annually. So they're spending a lot of money on these halfway houses, yet they're finding out that they're not being effective.
So government fund this
So
house
they
to.
the government funds the houses, is that what you're asking?
Yes, right.
Yeah, the government, the state government is the one that is paying for these halfway houses. So they may be
Mhm,
privately run, but they're getting money from the government.
mhm.
Okay, very good. We have a new student. Vincent, how are you? Your microphone is muted. You might need to unmute your microphone. So click on the red microphone button. Can you see the red microphone button, Vincent? It's above the chat box. It should be above the chat box. Okay, try and unmute your microphone. We would love for you to participate. So we will just continue on with talking about this paragraph. Okay, so yes, we have startled. Startled meaning that they were surprised about these findings. Anything else you didn't understand, Mustafa?
Yes, drastically
Yes, drastically, drastically.
and
Okay, it says,
overhauling.
okay, let's look at those two words as a phrase. So, drastically overhauling state contracts. To overhaul is to completely change. So, and drastically also means something like completely or in not in a small way. So they're completely changing the state contracts with these halfway houses because they found them to be ineffective.
Mhm.
Okay? And maybe, Vincent, you got your mic working?
Yes, I think that I have my working now.
Okay, wonderful. Now we can hear you. Where are you from, Vincent?
Yes, I'm from Alicante, Spain. Yeah.
Okay, great. Nice to see you in class. Have you been watching a little bit about the class?
No, I just connected.
Okay, very good. Well, we have Mostafa. Mostafa, would you like to explain what we're talking about?
Yes, we are talking about halfway house
Mm-hmm.
that helping drug addict and person to start a new life. Uh, that's it.
Right,
In effective
exactly.
ways, of course. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're talking about something called a halfway house, which I put in the description. A halfway house is a place that either drug addicts or people who are released from prison go to transition back into society. So it's supposed to help them transition back into society and be productive citizens. Okay? So, Vincent, in Spain, do you have these things called halfway houses?
Uh, well, oh,
Oh no, we lost him. Okay. Hopefully he'll come back. Okay, great description, Mustafa. Um, and let's see. Was there anything else that you didn't understand in that paragraph?
No, that's it.
Okay, very good, very good. So we're seeing just how much these halfway houses cost and how it might be a problem to spend all this money and lose it in an ineffective system. Okay, so if you would, Hassan, are you still,
I,
is your
I have
microphone
a
still
question.
muted? Go ahead,
I
Mustafa.
have I have a question. The halfway house is belongs to government or it's a private? I mean, I can open the halfway house and get the license for it, or
I'm not exactly sure how the process goes. You can see that they have private halfway houses, although I'm sure you have to get a license and you have to do a lot of work to get government funding.
Mhm.
So, in this case, these privately run halfway houses are still connected to the government because they're getting government funding.
Mhm.
Okay?
Because this is a not profit organization, right?
Right. I believe this is not a for profit organization. So they're not doing it for profit. They're just getting the money that they need to run.
Mhm.
Okay, good questions. Anything else?
No, so far.
Okay, very good. And I hope that I can answer most of your questions because I'm going to tell you that I'm not an expert in halfway houses.
Me
So,
too.
yes, hopefully we can learn this together
Yeah.
because most of what I know about halfway houses, I know from this article.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you would read for us the next one.
Okay. Pennsylvania's Corrections Secretary John E. Whittles, who oversaw this study, called the system an abject failure. The focus has been on filling up beds, Mr. Whittles said in an interview. It hasn't been on producing good outcomes.
Okay, very good. So, what are some questions? Any
Uh,
questions here?
yes, what does it mean, an abject failure?
Okay, abject failure. Yes, he called the system an abject failure. This is like the worst kind of failure, a complete failure. So that's
Mm.
what he uses to refer to the system. And this is John E. Wetzel. He is the one who performed or who oversaw the study. So after he did this
Mm.
study, he realized that this system was a complete failure. Okay. Anything
Mhm.
else?
Mhm. It just yes, it just focus on filling beds. It mean just a number of prison
Right,
or how
exactly.
many people fill in this organization.
Exactly. So the focus has been on filling up the
So
beds, meaning,
they just so,
go ahead.
so they just only focus on the number of people only, not the quality of service.
Right, exactly. So, for example, if they're proud of their organization, they may say, "Well, we've had 500 people come in this halfway house. So we're doing really well. We have a lot of people coming in." But they're not
Mhm.
focusing on what is happening to those people or how those people are being rehabilitated.
Mhm. Mhm. Right.
Okay, very good. Anything else?
No.
So, what do you think about this focus on filling up beds? Do you think it kind of makes sense as to how it might not be successful?
No, it is not successful at all because they are focusing on only the number of people, which means, yeah, my organization is working fine, and I have an evidence, which is I have a lot of people here, and this is good for me. But this is not good
Right,
because
exactly.
they don't focus on the surface itself or which courses they have or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. So they have the numbers to somehow prove that they're doing a good job. So they can say how many people have gone into their facility, into their program. However, it's still not producing very good outcomes, and that's the problem, right?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect, perfect. We have Hassan. Welcome. How are you? A new Hassan. You might need to unmute your microphone. So click the microphone icon above the Verbling chat, Hassan Rod. Okay, we'll come back to you. Unfortunately, we're having some problems with the mics of our new students, but that's okay. Okay, so go ahead, Mustafa, and read for us the next one.
The state now plans to link payments to the campaigns to their success at rehabilitations. The thousands of inmates who go through halfway houses in Pennsylvania annually. By contrast, New Jersey, which has also been a leader in the halfway house movement, has moved far more slowly to revamp its system. Even though senior New Jersey lawmakers acknowledge that it is as that sorry, even though senior New Jersey lawmakers acknowledge that it is as troubled as Pennsylvania's.
Okay, very good, very good. So now we're talking about the state of New Jersey. I wanted to point out for you, Mustafa, this word lawmakers. Lawmakers.
Lawmaker. Okay.
Okay, so those are just the people who make the laws, of course. So any questions right here?
Uh, you- revamp its system.
Okay, to revamp. They have
Third
moved
line.
far
Okay.
more slowly to revamp its system. Do you have any guess as to what it means, revamp?
Renew or
Right, exactly. To renew or to improve the system. Okay, very good. So we're talking, like I said, about New Jersey now and the difference between Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the state in which this study was done, and the state of New Jersey. So New Jersey also has many halfway houses, but they are moving very slowly to change or renew their system. Okay, even though we see that there are problems in the system of halfway houses and they're maybe not as effective as they should be, they're moving slowly to change them or to change the policies. Okay, anything else you didn't understand or wanted to ask about?
yes, is there any kind of test to know this person or rehabilitated correctly or not?
Yeah, you mean what are they using to find this study?
Yes, and take the decision if this halfway house succeed or not. How
Well,
do
they're
they
they're
know?
using something very simple. All they're thinking is, did the person return to prison or not?
Oh,
hmm So they're not really looking at their emotions or their feelings towards other people. They're just looking to see if they committed another crime and returned to prison. So, and
during a certain number of years or forever?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. So maybe will explain it in the article in the future. So I'm not sure. Okay. Anything else you wanted to ask about?
Um, no.
Okay, very good, very good. So let's see. Vicente or Vicente, have you joined
Okay.
us again?
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry.
No problem, no problem. So would you like to read for us the next section?
Yes, of course. Is will start in the same? The same?
Right, exactly.
Okay. The same company, Community Education Centers, is the biggest provider of halfway houses in both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. The New York Times published a series of articles last year that detailed escapes, violence, drug use, and other problems at community education halfway houses in New Jersey.
Okay, very
But
good.
okay,
Go ahead. Did you have a question? Oh, you wanted to continue. You can continue here in just a moment. We'll stop right there, okay?
okay,
So before we talk about this, I know, Vicente, that you haven't seen the whole class, but I want to get you on the same page so you understand what the article is talking about. So again, we're talking about that idea of halfway houses, meaning the transitional places where people live in between prison and returning back to their homes or back to society in this case. This is what we're talking about. Okay?
okay, okay.
And a study was published that said that these halfway houses actually don't help them at all to not commit a crime again. Okay? So that is the main topic, and now we're talking about the paragraph that you read is talking about a specific company called Community Education Centers, them being the biggest provider of these halfway houses in the two states that we're talking about, in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Okay? And then the second part of the sentence, or the second part of the paragraph, you can see the New York Times, a very popular publication, published all these articles showing all of these problems connected to this company's halfway house. They have escapes, violence, drug use, and a bunch of other problems in this specific company's halfway houses. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So I hope you're caught up now that you understand where we are in the article, and hopefully you can participate in our discussion as well. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Audrey.
Very good. Are there any questions either from you or Mustafa?
Yes, I have a question here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, halfway house is a must for former prisons or drug addict to go through after the release from prison, for example, or it's an option.
No, it depends. Most of the time, it is an option. So if you serve your time in prison, you can be released into society, or you can choose to go to a halfway house if you know that you're not ready to enter society. Okay, and I think sometimes the judge might order you to go to a halfway house if they know that you're not ready and it's better for you to go. It just depends on the situation. Okay? Do you have any question, Vicente?
No, more than questions, I have to. I like to do a comment because in Spain we don't have halfway houses. No, and even it's not an option. People who is released from prison is go ahead to the normal life, with normal between brackets, of course.
Right. Right.
So,
and what do you think about that? Do you think that they should have a halfway house or a transitioning period?
yes, I think that is of course it's a good idea for these people because they are unconnected from the real life from maybe years and they maybe get lost. So I think that they need help to try to to go with to carry on with their normal lives, I think.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you that it seems like a great idea to have a transitional period where they can maybe learn some skills, learn to perform a job something like that, and hopefully they can re-enter society. The unfortunate thing with this article is that the study suggests that these houses don't actually help at all. In fact, they might even hurt somebody's chances to be rehabilitated. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Absolutely. So interesting.
Maybe what they say the reasons could be in the rest of the article. Okay. So Mustafa, would you like to read this one?
Okay. But the Pennsylvania study was so conclusive that it's dismayed even criminologists who serves on the community education's board of directors. The criminologist Professor Edward Latessa of the University of
This one is Cincinnati.
Cincinnati said the study confirmed his own research on the Pennsylvania system, which has about 4,500 beds.
Okay, very good. So just to explain before you have any questions, this professor did his own research, and the study is in agreement with the research that this professor did. So the professor did the same kind of study on these halfway houses to see if they were effective, and the study confirmed his own research. Okay? Any questions?
No. Dismay, what's the meaning of dismay?
Okay, yeah, so it said it dismayed even a criminologist who serves on this board. So to dismay is to upset or to confuse.
Oh, okay.
So they were confused and upset about this study because, of course, this person works for the community education company, and that is the company that's providing a lot of these halfway houses. So, of course, they want the halfway houses to be successful. However, the study proves that they're not for whatever reason.
Yes.
Okay, so any other questions or comments? Of course, you're open to comment on this section as well.
No.
So I just want to know at this point, what do you think some of the reasons why these halfway houses are not effective is? Why would they not be effective? And this is just your own guess. Give some guesses.
Maybe they don't have well-defined program.
Okay, yeah, so if they don't have a well-defined program, that could definitely be it. It seems like you need something structured and defined to help rehabilitate somebody. Okay, very good. Vicent, do you have any idea?
Maybe I think that I don't know how much time is this systems working in the United States, but I think that maybe the one thing is working for long and everything seems normal, and I think that everything is when everything is out of control. So. Maybe the persons the people who rule these kind of organizations are get used to do it, and maybe they don't pay attention the necessary attention to get the goals that these houses were created, I think.
Yeah, so that's a good point. A lot of times we get stuck in a routine, and so they're just keep running these houses, and they're not really paying attention to the outcome or the effects of them. Okay, wonderful opinions. Let's go next. Vicent, would you like to read the next section?
Yes. I only Is but the Pennsylvania study it?
Sorry, can you say again? It
Yes, but
starts it starts with we looked at.
I only see two lines. So
Oh, you can only see two lines there?
okay, now I see the entire paragraph. Okay, I start. We looked at quality indicators in our study. He said they were all poor. There were almost no positive results. I was shocked. The federal government and many states have increasingly sought to cut spending on corrections by relying on privately run halfway houses, many of which are as large as prisons.
Okay, very good, very good. So again, we're still talking about the quality of these halfway houses. So instead of just looking, Mustafa, you had asked a question. Instead of just instead of just looking at the numbers, we're also looking at the quality in this study. So the quality is very poor, with almost no positive results. And then in the last part, it says they are almost, or they are as large as prisons. So it seems like that might be a difficult environment to rehabilitate, maybe.
Yes. I think that is more or less what we have been talking before, because I think that the money that this organization received, they should be more controlled by the government, because I think that these organizations are private, and what they are looking for is to get more benefits. And I think that they are thinking more in getting benefits than in outcome the goals that they are what they were created. I think that is what is happening.
Yeah, what do you think, Mustafa?
Sorry, I didn't follow.
Yeah, so Vicent was saying that maybe they're more focused on getting funds and getting more money, and they're not really focused again on the outcome.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It
Okay.
seems that from this article, it seems that
Right. And
this is the reason for opening halfway house to just get the money and get the number of people. Just focus on the number of people, and that's all. Yeah, this is
mm-hmm.
the number, and give me the money according to this number.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay, yeah. And are there any vocab questions here?
Okay, I have a question. No, from my side.
Okay. So let's go ahead to the next one. Mustafa, would you read it for us?
Okay. Inmates can be paroled, paroled.
This one is paroled. Paroled.
Paroled or sent toward the end of their sentences to these facilities, where prepared courses are generally two-thirds those of prisons. The companies promise to give the residents therapy during treatment, job training, and other services to help ease their transition back to society.
Okay, very good. So I wanted to look at this word paroled. Do you know what it means, paroled, in the first sentence?
Just on something, the condition of freedom, something related to that.
Right.
Release under
So
condition?
exactly. So to be paroled is to be released from prison, but there are more restrictions on your freedom.
Yeah.
So you could be paroled to a halfway house. So you're released from prison, but you're still having to stay in a halfway house.
hmm
Okay, so inmates or people in the prison can be paroled or sent to these facilities. And it says the next part where per bed costs are generally two-thirds those of prisons. What does that part mean? Can either of you explain?
It means the cost of halfway house is lower than prison.
Okay, it's saying 2/3 those of prison. So that's 2/3 is less than the prisons. So the prisons cost more. The halfway houses are less expensive.
Less.
Okay. So what other questions? Are there any other questions?
Right.
What does it mean, therapy?
No.
The third line from the bottom.
Third line. Oh, therapy. Therapy. Yes. What is
Yes.
therapy? Vicent, do you know?
Therapy is maybe is the health treatment that residents receive, more or less. So it could be something like that.
So usually when we use the term therapy just alone, we're talking about maybe mental therapy or mental
Yeah.
help. So maybe for them to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Okay, we have Tolga. Welcome. Are you with us, Tolga? You might need to unmute your microphone. So try to find that red microphone button above the Verbling chat. We would love for you to participate, but he's gone, so never mind. Okay, that's fine. So any other questions here?
No.
No, from my side.
Okay. Any comments on this section? We're talking about the cost, maybe that it costs less to have an inmate be in a halfway house than it does in a prison, and the promises that these companies give for therapy, drug treatment, job training, and other services. These are the promises that these companies give to try and help these people re-enter society. So what do you think about those promises?
I think that maybe
That's
is
kind of show.
no. Talk to Mustafa, please.
Yes, it is. I think it's kind of show. It is not a real promises to just get a fund of these people.
Yeah, so this section kind of suggests when they say the companies promise to give these things, they're kind of suggesting that that's never really happening. They're not really getting
Yes.
those things. Go ahead, Vicent.
Yes, I think I agree with Mustafa. But I think that what I said when they said before, I think that this organization or these companies should be do well their work, and maybe if the cause is to sorry.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, how are you, Tolga?
Yeah, thanks. What about you?
Very good. Nice to have you. We'll come back to you in just a moment. Vicent, go ahead and finish your thought.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. Yeah, go on.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Vicent.
Okay, now get that. I think that these kinds of organizations should be more promoted, because if the cause is two thirds of prisons costs, and they did their work well, because they have to supply residents therapy, drug treatment, job training, and other services. Maybe that these are things that they are not they don't have the prisoners don't have the opportunity to do in prison. So I think that this kind of houses are much more efficient than prison. So maybe prison should be used only for big crimes, for strong crimes, not and these halfway houses should be much more promoted, I think.
Okay, yeah. So maybe you see that even though they're not even though they're not effective now, that they have great potential to be much better than sending somebody to a prison, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. So let's go to Tolga. How are you?
I am fine. What about you?
Very good, very good. Nice to see you. Where are you from?
I am from Turkey.
Okay,
What's your?
from where am I from?
Yeah.
I'm from the US. I live in the state of
Uh,
Alabama, if you know
yeah,
it.
yeah. I like that country too.
Okay, great. So, have you been watching? Have you seen the class?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen.
Okay, very good. Would you like to make a comment?
Yeah. What can I say about that? It's good.
The halfway houses, you think it's a good idea?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know what can I say about it, really.
Okay, well, let me ask you because we've been talking about a study that says that even though they seem like a great idea,
Okay.
they're not very effective. So, what do you think some of the reasons why they're not effective is? Did we lose him? Oh no. Okay, that's okay. Next we have Eduardo. Welcome. How are you? Are you there, Eduardo? Again, you might need to unmute your microphone. So click the red microphone button above the chat. Okay, we'll come back to you. Let's go next to Vicent. Would you read the next section for us?
Okay. The study by the Pennsylvania Corrections Department found that 77% of inmates sent to halfway houses were rearrested or sent back to prison within 3 years, compared with 60% of inmates who were released to the streets.
Okay, very good. So this is actually seeing the percentage. We haven't seen the percentage yet. We've been talking about the study, but we haven't seen the real numbers. So here we have 67% of inmates that are sent to these halfway houses were rearrested or sent back to prison, and compared to 60% who were just released to the streets. They didn't go to the halfway houses. Okay, so
Okay.
it seems like a pretty significant number. What do you think?
But they are so close, the percentage are so close.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Okay,
not big
so
difference
maybe
here.
you don't think it's a significant difference here between the halfway houses and being released to the street?
Mhm.
Uh, in my opinion, I think that the percentage in hard houses should be lower.
Yeah, sure. So you would always assume that the percentage should be lower than 60%, which is quite high if you think about it. 60%, it's quite high for somebody to return to prison in
Yeah,
general.
But really,
yeah,
I think this comparison is not fair because it depends on the kind of crime they did, right?
Yeah, it could. It could definitely depend on the kind of crime. So we're just generalizing for all crimes, all people who were sent either to the halfway houses or to the streets. So there's no difference here in
Mm.
the crimes as far as the studies go.
Mhm.
Okay, any other comments?
maybe I think that it could be another reason because when people is arrested, for example, and he have to spend 3 or 4 years or 5 years in prison, and then when they come back to the streets, the things have changed a lot, and maybe if they have to, they don't have work, they get lost, and they are obligated to commit crime again. So it's for that I think that things that have to change in the halfway and prisons to try to re-educate it better to the inmates. But I think that things should have improved in the streets too, and not and governments should have to take action and in what's happening in the streets and in our world right now. So I think that that's the problem. That people who come back to the real life when it's released from prison, they don't have anything to do. It's almost impossible to get to the real life despite the effort that maybe are made in prison. It's my opinion.
Okay, yeah. So there are so many other factors, even despite these halfway houses, there are other factors that make it so difficult to return to normal life, would you say? Okay,
Yes, and
Eduardo?
people normal don't accept the former prison or something. They dislike
Yes,
it.
definitely. I just wanted to see if we have Eduardo. Eduardo, are you there? Maybe your microphone is working now. Can you hear me? Maybe not. Okay, so Mustafa, did you want to say anything else?
No.
Okay, let's see. Maybe we have time for one or two more sections. Could you read this one, Mustafa?
Okay. The study examined 38 privately run and 14 state-run halfway houses. The results for both categories were discouraging, said Mr. Wetzel, the state correction chief. He said researchers had not pinpointed the reasons, but he said he suspected that some halfway houses were not providing adequate services.
Okay, very good. I just wanted to point out a pronunciation problem with this word said. Instead of said, it's said.
So, okay.
Okay, so he said. Okay, very good. So, any questions here? Any vocab questions?
Pinpointed.
Yeah, he said researchers had not pinpointed the reasons. So to pinpoint is to find out exactly what they are.
Okay.
So to find out, but to find out exactly what they are. Okay? So again, they're having difficulty pinpointing or finding the exact causes for this problem. And it actually mentions, we had talked a little bit about privately run halfway houses. It actually mentions here state-run halfway houses, so ones that are run entirely by the government, and somehow they're still not effective. So it's not only the privately run ones, but the state-run or government-run halfway houses that are also not effective. So I think we'll stop here with the article, but I just want to give you both a little bit of time to comment on the article as a whole. So we'll start first with Mustafa. What did you think about the article in its entirety?
Yes, the halfway house is a good idea, but we need to concern about the results and the program they serve to former prison or drug addict. We need to focus about the program and the results as well. And we need to define some well-defined metrics to measure the result. It is not depend only sent back to prison. No, it's not only. This is not the only reason we can judge this organization is succeed or not. We need another metrics.
Right, exactly. And Vicent, what did you think?
Yes, I think that this article is very good because it shows what really is happening, and the people in the States are spending lots of money to try to re-educate the inmates, and people are trying to help people to get to real life, and maybe it's been a waste of money, and the government should take action to try to solve this problem. That, in my opinion, is a problem that that if it's not solved, maybe is not being very good for the people in general, because if the inmates are not re-educated, maybe the crime will never get reduced.
Okay, so yeah, definitely something that people don't think of all the time, but excellent opinions, excellent views, and of course you guys both did wonderfully in your reading and conversation. So congratulations there. You both have great English. I'll give you a link in the Verbling chat just in case you would be interested in finishing the article. We didn't have time, but that was great that we could hear your opinions. Thank you both for coming. I know it was a small class, but sometimes, the small classes are the best because you can ask all your questions and you can express your opinions. So,
okay, thank you, Audrey.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Let me take down this screen. I hope that I can see you again in the future, and take care. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, bye-bye.